Well, I have Dave Fry here and with Sidewalk Profits. Thank you, Dave, for giving
Hmm.
us some of your time during you're in Florida today. So
Yeah, our first show of the fall tour. It's exciting.
that's awesome. We are so excited to bring you to our area. And so we have this opportunity to spend some time with you here this afternoon. So you have been around with your band for 21 years. That's
Yeah, that's
crazy.
crazy. I actually we actually started in the dorm the October of 2001 because it was right after September 11th. Easy to remember, but I bet
Yeah.
my buddy Ben. But yeah, we've been we kind of officially started touring and all those things right after college ended in '04, and man, so it's been a journey. And got signed in '09, and but all that being said, what a journey and what opportunity to keep doing what we do.
Yeah. You've got five number one hits. You've got, I'm looking here, eight top five songs, and then now it's your fifth album.
Yeah.
So thrilled to hear that. And I will tell you this, I am so excited tomorrow. Your song
Hmm.
comes out, Unbelievable. And
Yeah.
we are super fans of Ben Fuller. We brought him here for a prison concert, and I'm telling you, it
Yes.
touched our hearts. So he is
He's
a
got.
favorite of
Yeah.
ours, and that song is amazing. So what was it
Thank
like?
you.
What was it like making a song with him that's coming out tomorrow?
I never met Ben. It was before, I think before his first single ever came out, that we wrote this song, and he was just getting ready to release it, and we were giving pumping him up, and because we knew, man, his voice is only exceeded by his passion and love for Jesus, and that's what you do when you meet Ben. You realize he loves history and he loves Jesus, not in that order. He loves, and then it's just amazing, the story, his testimony, and what he's been through, what he's overcome, and how he's thriving, and but to get to do that alongside him is just a we're both very big huggers, and so we were just hugging it out all the time. And but to write the song together was really a cool experience because we would write a line and he'd be like, "Yes, that's it, that's beautiful, that's true." And then you'd write another line, "Oh man, yeah," and it just kind of spilled out of us just this joyful song. And I think we need some joyful songs these days, and some songs that help you overcome, and just to sit back and realize the unbelievableness. We said we got together and kind of filmed some little snippets for it, as you might have been seeing on Instagram, and all day we were saying the word unbelievable and not even trying to. It's just like, man, this is unbelievable that and it just echoed the sentiment of Ben's heart, but also just the unbelievable nature that it is, our God, taking us broken vessels, and somehow putting our lives together and using it for His glory is what an honor to serve Him. So yeah, that's the gist, man. He's amazing. We love Ben.
Yeah, you're right. That song, I was telling my husband about it, and I said I wanted to just describe it as unbelievable. I'm like, wait,
Yeah, that's it. There you
I've
go.
got
Yeah,
to I've got to find another word. So I thought it was amazing,
sure.
but this is another word that I thought of it for
Yeah.
this song. It is movie worthy. So
Oh wow.
I'm hearing it and I'm like, that is such a great song for a movie. So maybe you
Yeah.
found a hidden talent where you are now like you could write, a soundtrack for a movie or
Let's do
something.
it.
I know.
All I listen to these days, I have a 4-year-old, and my daughter turned one 2 days ago, and
Congratulations.
what's bopping is every Disney song ever made. My son asked me, "Dad, is there a Disney song I haven't heard yet?" And I literally could not think of one. Like, we have sung every night. I'll sing him a song, and he wants a new Disney song. I'm like, buddy, we've done this for like 150 days. Like, we are getting low. I was like singing Les Poissons from Little Mermaid, and that's a deep cut. If you know what that is, you are a Disney freak like me. But but like, it's fun. Yeah, I love soundtracks, love musicals, and yeah, it would be awesome to maybe Spielberg. We'll pitch it to Spielberg, see if he's
I
feeling that unbelievable
I
train.
think so, or even the Kendrick brothers or something.
Always, dude. The Kendricks are amazing. Yep.
Definitely. So you were talking about Disney, and I heard you share one time that your band thinks of you as a certain Disney character. And what
Yes.
would that be if you
I
could tell?
mean, the more, if you know me at all, and the more you think, I am Winnie the Pooh. Like, I really am Pooh Bear. I'd like to be, I'd like to be Aladdin. I'd like to be maybe like Mufasa, but like, nah, I'm pretty much Pooh Bear, and that's fine by me, man. Like, just the way he gets up in the morning and does his toe touches, that's inspiration for me. And like, okay, I got to Pooh Bear this, and then you go down and get some honey, but no, it's I think that's a good character to land on, and it's
That's awesome. But I will tell you, as a mom to two girls, now that you have a daughter,
Yes. Yeah, I love it.
congratulations.
Laria.
You will want to reconsider possibly maybe becoming Mufasa or
Oh,
like
that's
that
the
when she begins to date. You know,
Oh yes,
you can
that's
be
what I
Pooh Bear.
aspire to. I
Yeah.
aspire to Mufasa. That's the you Pooh Bear, but you aspire to Mufasa. That's what I do. But yeah, as she's she just turned 1, and those days were in my brain, but like so far down the road that it'll come tomorrow. It'll come so fast,
Yeah.
and just holding her and snuggling her. Yesterday we were at the zoo celebrating her birthday. Just went on a little zoo trip, and the first time that I was passing her off to her mom, and she turned and she grabbed daddy, and that hasn't happened in a year. And so I was just like, oh, it just made me feel so good. And Harmony laughed, my wife, and
That's
because Mama's the hero, mamas are the heroes, but
yeah.
that was really special just to
That's
snuggle my
that's
1-year-old.
really that's great. Yeah.
Yeah,
Well, we'll check back with you in about 16 years
yeah, yeah.
and
See how
see
it's
if
going.
you've changed your Disney character.
Sure.
So talking about acting, movies, your song "Unbelievable" being movie worthy, in my opinion.
Thank you.
I I think your best video shows you also have some acting ability. So
Oh,
my
I know where you're
favorite,
going.
my favorite video
Yeah,
is Smile. I think that
sure.
with your yellow headband.
Yeah, this tracksuit. Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
it was the best. And it
Thank you.
makes my day listening to that song and that video. So where did you make that? And you were actually
Yeah.
really truly being these sidewalk prophets on the street. These weren't actors that you were bringing through, right?
Sure, we had it was kind of beautiful. Smile, I felt like it was a perfect song for the pandemic, and we didn't know, of course. We filmed that video in 2019 at the end of the year, and like fall of 2019 in downtown Nashville, right in the busiest part of town, right where all the skyscraper office buildings are. And we set up a couple ping pong tables because there's always a reason to always choose joy. And I think that we forget that God has given out joy on the worst days of our lives as well as the best. And he just wants us to grab hold. James 1:2, consider it pure joy when you face trials of many kinds, is my favorite verse. And so here we are in the middle of downtown Nashville. I'm in the most ridiculous 80s looking yellow tracksuit with a headband and doing karate kicks and Jack Black style, I guess. But like all these people are passing by. And the problem was we got so many people that wanted to stop and play ping pong that we went all the way until the evening because we needed some more people to reject me. Like people were having so much fun, and I would say that 95% of the people were strangers. They had a little sign there, a little waiver, and all these things. There was by the end like. There was not enough rejections. And so there was one girl that was on the crew, and we're like, go out there and tell Dave no. And she's like, acts like I'm like a disease or something. And like, that's the only actor, she was in part of the crew, but like the only setup was that girl. And then of course the guy at the end playing ping pong, we might have known that he was coming too, because he smoked me. He was like doing things under the legs and over the back of his head, and it was pretty awesome to watch. He was ranked like 200th in the nation, which sounds like a pretty low. That guy, he was pretty amazing.
Wow, that is just definitely proves you guys connect with people and you draw people in, the energy. I saw also on the guitar there when you were on that
Yeah,
video that you have in this like cut out letters, like almost
yeah,
ransom lettering, and
sure,
it's tactic because I was like, what? I can't fully see that on the video.
sure,
And I saw it in another video that you have on one of your studio doors.
yeah,
And I
yeah,
thought, wait, that's Psalm 150. And so
yes.
is that a verse, a life verse for your group? Because I
Yeah,
thought
that
that's
if
great.
you boil down Sidewalk Prophets into a single verse, we always go to Psalm 150. And lo and behold, we've been so blessed to get to do all these things we do. We were on our very first Winter Jam when we got signed. We went right on Winter Jam, and ended up in Winter Jam ended, and we were at the Dove Awards. And somehow, some way, by God's glory, we won Best New Artist that year. And I had been like, we'd been home for 5 hours from Winter Jam, and so I'm like, what am I writing? I thinking mom, thinking all my bandmates and their wives and all these things. And I'm like, and then mom was like, you probably should use a verse. You probably should. And I was like, that's brilliant. Like my mom always have the best ideas, like I said. So I bring my Bible up and I realized that Psalm 150 is make it, let everything that has breath praise the Lord. praise him with the cymbals, with the gongs, and with Toby Mac, praise him with all these ways that we praise God, but make sure that everything that has breath praises the Lord. And that is kind of the band's hope and dream and life verse. And so Psalm 150 you'll find on little tiny bits in our albums. You might find it in the corner here, there. But yeah, if you had to boil Sidewalk down into a verse, Psalm 150 would be our goal, our Mufasa, if you will. We try to strive to be Psalm 150.
That's awesome. I love it. Yeah. And I love that it drew me in, and I, for whatever reason, it wasn't clicking, and I searched for it. So you've got
Yeah,
people
that's
searching
great.
to
Little
see,
Easter
because it's,
eggs.
yeah, because it's like
Yeah,
broken little letters, and it's a great
sure.
touch, great motto to have.
Thank you.
So
Thank you.
you are coming to Lewistown on September
Yes.
27th. We're super excited to have you here. We'll be there that night. And
Great.
I know that you're going to be telling stories of the songs and why you wrote them. And so, of course, we don't want to get into all that today, but I
Yeah,
think that is my favorite way of going to a concert, because it
I,
really
I
draws
agree.
us in. So if you would have a few seconds to tell us why it's important for us to come tonight or on the 27th, that night, to hear
Sure.
the stories behind the songs, what would be your favorite song that you would tell us about that night?
Man, we have I have a favorite. It's about my son, and I'll save it for that night. It's from our next record that's coming out in January, and it's just the story of how he was born and what happened. And it's funny and it's crazy and it doesn't seem real. It feels like a movie because he was born right in the middle of the pandemic and craziness was going on. So I'll save that story. But one that I don't necessarily get to share is the story of our first song, first single. Words I would say actually is a story that about the night that my granddad was passing away. At 3 in the morning, my mom called me in Nashville. She was back in Indiana with him, and he's passing away. And so rather than rush through the night, I was in such a rough state. Hearing that at 3 in the morning, I sat down and I wrote a letter to him, and that calmed my nerves. It was like what God wanted me to do, so I could pour it out. Thank him for being who he was, and the man that he helped me be in God's love, and showing Jesus' love. Wrote that letter, finished up, was calm enough. I drove through the night, made it home before the sunrise, and I got to read that to my granddad before he passed. Just a little prayer kind of over him, and sing a couple songs on the guitar. And then I remember that, just that feeling that what a gift. Like, we have no idea what tomorrow's going to bring. I mean, tomorrow might be it, and this day might be it. So we need to take those letters that we haven't written yet, those encouragements, and the forgiveness that we haven't given. Like, this is it. This is the day God's given us. And so we always call Words I Would Say our letter to inspire many letters of love. And that's just one of the stories. There's so many stories to tell about these songs and what God's done in ways we couldn't fathom. But I love this tour for that same reason. And it feels like we're just hanging out with friends and family. Call the folks that show up, the great big family of God. And Dan and Cal have all the hard work. It's the three of us up there, and they're like playing guitars and drums at the same time. It's pretty awesome to behold. They're looping things over things, and I just get up there and tell stories. It's great.
Yeah, you've got a great story behind all of those songs, and I will tell you that song, "The Words That I Say," is my favorite song as well. That
Oh,
was a
thank you.
song that when we heard you sing it, my husband and I heard you sing it the first time live at what we have here, Grange Fair. You've been to, and
Sure.
that's a song my husband sent to our son, for a year,
Oh,
almost every week, over and over again. And at first I thought, you're being so repetitive, but it was
sure.
so meaningful that
Mm,
he was sending it to my son at a very difficult time. So thank you for that.
sure.
That song
Honored, man.
definitely
That's
has
the
a
stuff
special
God
place.
does. We're
Yeah.
honored to hear those stories, because you never know how. I wrote it for granddad, and you're using it for your son, and it's just amazing how God takes things that we have in our hearts and can multiply them. And I encourage whoever's listening today that's what He wants to do with that passion in you, and it's true.
Yeah. Well, thank
Thank
you.
you.
Thank you. Well, we are so excited that you're coming our way. You're in Florida today, and we're going
Yep.
to see you on September 27th. It's a Friday night, 7 o'clock. Those doors open at 6:15. And we want to remind them where to get their tickets. Do you remember your
Sure.
website to tell us where to go?
SidewalkProphets.com will
There
get
you
you
go.
there.
Yeah, that's right.
For
That's all.
sure.
That's awesome. Well, we hope to get you a full house so they can hear all the stories
Thank
of
you.
how God has used you in amazing ways for 21 years.
Yeah. We love Pennsylvania. Feels like our home away from home. The first camp we ever played was in Pennsylvania, and it's always felt like home ever since. So thank you guys for having us, and it's gonna be an awesome night.
Great. Well, thank you so much.
Thank you.
All
See you.
right.
See
God
you.
bless you. Bye bye.
Thank you. Bye.